What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of I Don't Have All the Answers. It's your girl, A. Brooke. I am the host of this series. I just want you guys to know, do not call this a podcast. It is not that. This is a series. We're going to talk about stuff. We're going to have dialogue, conversation. You're going to get in these comments and you're going to interact and engage with me. And that's how we're going to do that. So let's just go ahead and jump right into today's topic. Okay, so just in case you've been living underneath a rock, we had a pretty bad snow and ice storm here in the DC area. But I'm going to address DC specifically. What I noticed is that this snowstorm really brought out the selfishness in people. I didn't see many examples of community. I saw more examples of parking space wars, women digging themselves out, elder women at that. I saw a lot of people complaining that the government was not doing their job or didn't do a good enough job of snow removal. But yet I didn't see communities coming together. And this very well could have been happening, but it wasn't talked about. If you live in a community where there's a parking space next to yours and you took the time out to shovel your parking space, which probably was not reserved, it didn't have your name on it, you're not paying for it, it's public property, it doesn't belong to you. Nonetheless, you took your time to shovel out your parking space. The parking space right next to it still has a bunch of snow in it. Y'all may not agree with me, but if I dug out a parking space and somebody else was parked there, I would be mad, yes. But also, if someone had dug out a parking space and I had came home and I saw an empty parking space, I would have parked there. Why would I park on top of a heap of snow? What I don't understand is you sat up there and you took the time out to dig yourself out, but you didn't think about your neighbor. Why is that? It's called community for a reason. It's a whole lot of I, and not enough, let me help my neighbor. Let me look out for my neighbor. And where the heck were the men? And again, I'm specifically talking about DC. I don't know what was going on in Maryland. I can't see what was going on in Virginia. I'm talking about DC. Where were the men? I saw so many men complaining, fighting over parking spaces. OMG. This is truly, I just don't understand. In the community, we help and look out for each other. I'm knocking on my neighbor's door, checking on her, making sure that she's okay. Making sure that she has no issues. One of my former neighbors was an elderly woman who walked to the store. I'm knocking on her door, asking her does she need anything. You do not have to walk to the store today because I got you. And again, I'm not saying that this was not happening, but of course, more of the negative is going to be put out there than the positive. I would have loved to see more people in the communities coming together. If you have a snowblower, you can clear the sidewalk for your whole neighborhood. Oh, you was going to charge people? Okay. I can understand that too. But do you think it's right? Again, I don't have all the answers. I'm just asking. And I'm so glad that I no longer have school-age children because I don't want to even have to deal with the whole conversation of why DCPS was open. But let me just tell y'all this funny story real quick. It's funny to me. So I was about in the 8th grade. I know I was going to Brown Junior High School at the time, and I was living right by Congress Heights subway station, where it's located now. It wasn't there when I was in school. It was just the W4. Now, if you know where Brown is located right off of Benning Road near Langston Golf Course, right across the street. On the same block is Spingarn, Phelps, and Charles Young. It's set right on the end of the block. Congress Heights is far. Brown is on the other side of town in Northeast. So it snowed. It started snowing really, really bad this day. Marionberry did not close the schools. I had to leave out the house pretty early in order to get to school on time. So I'm on a bus. I had to catch 2 buses to school. Yes, I know it sounds old, but I have one of those stories. I had to catch 2 buses to school. I caught the W4 and then I transferred. I believe I transferred at Benning Road and Minnesota Avenue to catch the X2 to get to school. It's about a 45-minute bus ride from the W4 to Minnesota, from Congress Heights, rather, to Benning Road and Minnesota Avenue. Do you know by the time I got to Benning Road and Minnesota Avenue, they decided to close schools? Now, this is the DC that I grew up in. This is the DCPS school system that I am a product of. So when it comes to today, I'm never surprised that DCPS is open. I'm really more surprised that DCPS is closed. As a parent, you have the discretion to do whatever you feel is in the best interest for you and your family. So if you feel like your child is not safe traveling to school, then don't send them to school. For the ones that do send them to school, make sure that they have the proper winter gear so that they can go to school. If you're that mad about schools being open, why not just keep them home? DC has their reasons for keeping schools open. I'm not sure what those reasons are. To me, none of the reasons can justify why the schools were open. The streets were not safe. The sidewalks were not safe. So the kids traveling to school, could be problematic. I heard that a kid got hit by a bus. I'm just saying. Don't fight the mayor if you're going to keep sending your kids to school. The biggest protest would have been to keep your kid home. If anything, the teachers should be protesting. Because why did the teachers, many of them who are not DC residents, many of them do not live in the communities where where the respective schools are located. So why did they even have to come to work? And that's pretty much all I have on that one. The second part of it is, so yesterday I was riding around in the city. I'm on Pennsylvania Avenue. I drive past a church. The church's property is situated on 80% of the block. There's a house next door, and the house occupies the rest of the space. Do you know the church only shoveled the sidewalk up until, I guess, their property line? They didn't even shovel the snow all the way to the end of the block. But yet their sidewalks were clear. Their parking lot was clear. They didn't even clear the bus stop that's right in front of the church. And that's the part that I don't get. As a community-based organization, because that's what the church is. It is a faith-based community organization. You didn't clear the sidewalk for the whole block? You couldn't go from end to end when you own 80% of the block? Come on, make it make sense. Some of you business owners are sad. You want our money. You carry expired products. You don't treat us with the most respect. The stores are dirty and filthy. And we patronize your business so much, and yet you didn't have the decency to clear out your own space. Metro, in partnership with DC government, you didn't bother to clear out the bus stops, especially on the main streets. To see piles and piles of snow still sitting in front of a bus stop, unacceptable. I can look at DC as not having the resources. This is a government. You all are a corporate entity. Metro opens doors. Okay, get out there and clean off the bus stops. That's my only issue. Get in the field, people. Especially you men. You men are always walking around with your chest poked out. I'm a man. Treat me like a man. And yet you ain't even out there being pillars of the community, helping out your neighbor. You're sitting online complaining with the women. You're sitting out there having parking wars. You didn't bother cleaning out the space or multiple spaces in your community, and now you're mad because another community member parked in your space. That's not a reserved space, in a space that you don't own. I understand your frustration, but at the same time, again, maybe if you had looked out for your neighbor, this would have not happened. You all are the ones that are biologically made to deal with shoveling snow. Again, maybe if you had looked out for your neighbor wouldn't have parked in your space. At some point, you all, we got to come together. The problems are not going to get solved by individual effort. It just isn't. Collabs, people work better in collabs. You have Timbaland and Missy, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Babyface and L.A. Reid, Brian Michael Cox and Jermaine Dupri. All I'm saying is, to get the best product or the best results, it happens when you're in teams. You try to go at this thing alone, and you're going to have several failures. Come on, people, we can't be that selfish, man. What happened to humanity? Are you that mad? Are you that upset? Are you that selfish that you can't help out the other people in your community? You can't look out for those who could potentially look out for you? Imagine your car being stolen and your neighbor saw it and she doesn't say anything. It's just wild, and I don't like it. It takes a village does not just apply to raising children. It takes the whole village to make the community better. Come on, man, we gotta work together. Work together. Working as individuals does not always work. And all it does is pile up a list of complaints. A list of problems that you're looking for somebody else to solve, and it's not happening. Especially if you're looking for the government to solve it, they're not going to do it. Are we going to stop paying property taxes? Are we going to stop paying sales tax? They made it so that we can't even stop doing these things. When I walk in the store, I pay for my products. The tax is already included. I cannot say, oh, I'm not going to pay the sales tax today. That would be nice, but we don't even have the option to do that. So, all right, y'all, I'm going to wrap up this episode. I did intend to include another piece to this, but I'm going to save that for another day. This was actually supposed to be the intro. I wasn't even supposed to deep dive into none of this, and here we are. It's a current topic. Everybody can relate to it, and I'm pretty sure people feel strongly about it because I've been seeing a lot of the rhetoric online. So let me know in the comments if you agree with anything that I said, if you disagree with anything that I said, if you don't like what I said. I don't care. Get in those comments and express yourself. Talk to me and I talk back, okay? So this is your girl A. Brooke. I am signing off. I don't have all the answers. Till next week. Peace.